My name is Anna Drake Warshaw, and I am currently the Director of Partnerships, Learning, and Evaluation for the University Innovation Alliance. And I completed my PhD in Educational Leadership and Policy at UT in 2017. I defended in December 2016 and walked in spring 2017. I think the best advice that I got as a graduate student, which was not specific only to career planning, but to maximizing your time as a graduate student in general, was to take advantage of resources across campus and in the city of Austin, not just within my program or department. And that you really have to take control of your own graduate school experience as much as you can, because other folks may try, advisors or others may try, and to a great extent they can, but it's your experience at the end of the day. And I went to a much smaller undergrad, and so UT to me was just this enormous array of resources in and out of my own field. And so I took courses, in public policy, I took courses in business, and really tried to supplement what I was doing in higher education and built relationships with other faculty. And then I also, because I was really interested in policy, you're walkable to the Capitol, and I interned at the legislature, really had just amazing access to resources in many different areas. And, it took a while, I think, as an early graduate student to put together, kind of an identity out of those experiences that I was building for myself. At first it was trying to figure out where they were and what I wanted to most pursue without, going in too many directions and losing the ability to, achieve anything in one direction. But, by a couple years into my grad experience, I think I really had identified, kind of a little collection of where I wanted to focus a few years at a time. Okay, I got to spend time at the Capitol. I want to work with the state agency, the higher coordinating board. I want to, I want to identify courses and faculty in these disciplines. And then I'm going to create my own experience out of these things. And that is not something on paper I would have found within my degree program, but it was encouraged by, or if not directly encouraged, it was supported by my advisors and faculty once I, started to tell them what I was pursuing. And it has paid off incredibly with relationships that I still maintain across campus, with skills I developed, from working at the legislature, from working with administrators in research capacity across campus, even outside my primary research apprenticeship or research assistantship. So I think it's really that you have to create your own experience to the extent that you can, and get out there and hustle, and don't feel like you've got to be in a box that is, the way your degree looks on paper. In my current role, and in the most recent role prior to that as well, after graduate school, I spend a lot of time in meetings, some of which are great, others are not as great, but meetings with a variety of stakeholders, for the most part, university leadership, pretty senior university leadership in a lot of cases, helping them to implement and understand, improve the initiatives that we're working on together. I also work a lot with consultants and other partners, evaluation partners, to really help shepherd along different initiatives that we're driving forward. We do this through super collaborative work. And so while I'm virtual, and I used to travel a lot pre-COVID, I imagine I will again, I work with a really interesting national network of people and just spend a lot of time on Zoom, kind of wrangling a lot of individual pieces of projects through leveraging the content expertise and skills of lots of different partners involved. A lot of times I'm not the brain power for, I have some, but it's really identifying how to work with the right people to make things happen, and using a lot of communication and, self-driven work habits and skills that I think I developed in graduate school too. And really using a lot of listening and analytical thinking through all of these projects to help synthesize things, make, all of the work that we're doing across different work streams integrate and drive towards a common goal. So I work with, the directors of different projects that we are implementing, and kind of ensure that all of that work is aligning, and help them troubleshoot and support them as they kind of navigate the complexity of scaling these projects and ideas across 11 plus universities. And I do a lot of writing myself, which is not always original writing. It'd be fun if it was, or, original research, but it's a lot of taking all of this work that we're doing and distilling it into reports to funders, op-eds, blog posts, some of the resources and kind of playbook-like tools that we've talked about, grant proposals to funders for new concepts that we want to explore. So that writing is, certainly different than academic writing, but it's really fun. And I think I've certainly had to scale back the number of words and the length of those words, from the way you're socialized in graduate school. It's different kind of writing. And that was definitely an adjustment. But I think a lot of the work that I did, when I was working in the legislature, or some of my research assistantship work in strategy and policy at UT, really helped me adapt and develop a skill set around kind of policy brief writing. How to write to an audience that you want to do something or to understand something, not how to write to a journal audience for somebody who you want to think about something. So that's a long-winded way of saying what days are like. They're never the same, but they're packed and very action-oriented, and a lot of moving pieces, but it's very stimulating. So critical thinking skills, communication skills, organizational skills, and really the ability to self-manage and self-structure work, I think that those are critical. And I think the ability to understand and navigate complex environments, ambiguity, and to grasp context and the way context is shaping your work, I think a lot of times it's less, unfortunately, for graduate students in very specific disciplines, I think sometimes it's less about content knowledge, though that's always important, and it may be more important in some roles than in others, but you really can learn some of the content more than you can quickly learn these skills. And so if you have shown that you can quickly synthesize information, that you can write and communicate well, that you can manage yourself, structure projects, keep things on task, be fluid and adaptable in the weird kind of workforce and virtual environment and economy, then you're going to be really well equipped. And so I would be looking for someone who presents those skills and is kind of an eager learner about the content. And depending on what I'm hiring for, if they, have a real set of expertise around a particular area, then that's great as well. But I really want to know that they're kind of dynamic learners and thinkers and communicators.